Donald Trump issued a fake executive order today in an embarrassing photo op in front of a group of innocent young children that directed the Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, to begin the process of dismantling her own Department of Education, a move that is designed to bypass the legal requirement for congressional approval when closing a federal agency.
I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all.
At an awkward White House ceremony, Trump claimed that while the administration might eventually ask Congress to formally eliminate the department, the immediate action was necessary because its budget had more than doubled over recent years without corresponding improvements in national test scores. Determining the best education system is subjective, but countries like Finland, Switzerland, and South Korea are consistently ranked high for their quality and innovative approaches to education. The US ranks 31st behind Hungary, Lithuania, and Russia. But what is the real reason that Trump is wasting no time gutting and cutting the Department of Education? Well, let's leave it to his policy chief to say the quiet part out loud.
Well, as we know, the Department of Education here in Washington, D.C. is overwhelmingly staffed by radical left Marxist bureaucrats who are in every way hostile to Western civilization, hostile to American interests, and hostile to our founding documents and culture. And so they are using their position and influence inside the Department of Education to try to force agendas like radical gender ideology, like critical race theory, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all kinds of anti-America curricula and policies on the American people, on our students, on our children.
Yes, the age-old racist tropes of critical race theory and diversity, equity, and inclusion. These white supremacists in Republican states are genuinely worried about the so-called Great Replacement theory. Their fear is that as demographics shift in the United States, America will become minority white by 2045, as the census projects. Hence, over the last several weeks, we've seen a strategic effort by the Trump administration to remove commonly used data sets and resources that document economic, social, and health disparities faced by millions of Americans. These rollbacks not only threaten the integrity of scientific research and educational resource, but are a deliberate attempt to suppress visibility and recognition of underserved communities. And data is not just numbers. Data represents real people, real experiences, and real disparities. Data tells the story of this country. Data makes visible communities who have long been stigmatized, discriminated against, and underserved in policymaking. In recent weeks, the Trump regime has moved at breakneck speed to scrub websites, remove commonly used datasets like the CDC, and eliminate resources from the U.S. Census Bureau and other agencies that document economic, social, and health disparities faced by millions of people. Erasing data does not erase populations, it simply makes their experiences harder to measure and address through sound policy making, and ultimately exacerbates inequities, such as in education. A quick look back in history shows the role of research and data in society. One of the first acts of the Nazi regime in Germany was the destruction of a sexual and gender research archive. Under the current policy, the federal government does not dictate school curricula. That responsibility falls to state and local authorities, which also supply 90% of school funding. Nonetheless, Trump reiterated his campaign promise to send education back to the states. The order instructs McMahon to take all required measures to halt the department's essential functions. My administration will pursue every legal avenue to shut this department down as quickly as possible. It's not working for us, Trump declared. McMahon was seen sitting in the front row smiling of the East Room during the event today where Trump spoke from a stage adorned with state flags and flanked by school children seated at small desks in true authoritarian style. Despite the sweeping nature of the order, the White House claimed that key federal programs would remain unaffected. These include federal grants and loans such as the $18.4 billion Title I program for high-poverty K-12 schools, the $15.5 billion IDEA program for students with disabilities, and the $1.6 trillion federal student loan program. It remains unanswered, though, how significant spending cuts might be achieved without altering these initiatives. This executive action follows earlier steps by the administration that reduced the department's workforce by nearly half and cancelled dozens of grants and contracts, signalling a broader effort to curtail the Department of Education's authority. Although the idea of eliminating the Department of Education dates back to Republican initiatives in the 1980s, it has gained renewed momentum recently, particularly among pro-Trump activists who oppose policies promoting education standards and inclusivity. Trump's initiative is part of a larger strategy aligned with Project 2025, a plan inspired by the Heritage Foundation that envisions transforming the department into an agency focused solely on gathering statistics and relaying data to states. Critics on Capitol Hill have warned that eliminating the department could jeopardize the education of millions of low-income children who depend on federal funding, many of them non-white. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries cautioned that such a move might lead to larger class sizes, job losses among educators, cuts to special education and higher college costs. Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost also condemned the executive order, arguing that it represents an unconstitutional attempt to sidestep Congress in order to push a radical political agenda. An investment in Leaf Filter is an investment engineered to protect your whole home. Clogged gutters are easy to forget, annoying to clean, and can grow into a big problem. There's an easier way to ensure your gutters stay clean and avoid costly damage. Upgrade to a permanent solution you can count on with Leaf Filter, so you never have to clean out the gutters again. Right now, you can get a free inspection, free estimate, and save up to 30% of your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/5 minutes. Every installation comes with a lifetime, no-clogs guarantee. Leaf Filter uses award-winning patented technology to keep out everything but water. No holes, gaps, or large openings for debris to get through. Clogged gutters aren't just a nuisance, they can cause extensive water damage, so protect your home from flooding, roof damage, rotting siding, foundation issues, and more. Call today to schedule your free gutter inspection and get a no-obligation free estimate. Protect your home and never clean out gutters again with Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Schedule your free inspection and take advantage of the spring spectacular sale with up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/5 minutes. That's free estimate, free inspection, and 30% off at leaffilter.com/5 minutes. See representative for warranty details. The Trump regime's actions could lead to major shifts in its budget and policies that will affect schools nationwide. Some Republicans are advocating for a reallocation of funds into block grants managed by states, giving them the discretion to decide how best to support low-income and special needs children, while also targeting programs such as teacher training for potential cuts. In addition to this order, Trump has recently signed executive actions aimed at promoting school choice by diverting public funds to private education and removing financial support from schools accused of radical indoctrination. He's also revived his 1776 Commission to promote a whitewashed view of American history, claiming that versions of history at odds with conservatives' values constituted a form of child abuse. During the early days of his presidency, the Department of Education announced it had dismantled several diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Following that, several key appointments were made from the America First Policy Institute, a right-wing think tank often described as a White House in waiting. This group has actively pushed to eliminate diversity initiatives and ban certain books. A recent report by the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism highlighted the Institute's close ties to the department, noting that it had been influential in the removal of diversity programs and the banning of books that educate about diversity. Meanwhile, the state of Ohio is giving taxpayer money to private religious schools to help them build new buildings and expand their campuses, which is nearly unprecedented in modern U.S. history. While many states have recently enacted sweeping school voucher programs that give parents taxpayer money to spend on private school tuition for their kids, Ohio has cut out the middleman. Under a bill passed by its legislature last summer, the state is now providing millions of dollars in grants directly to religious schools, most of them Catholic, funding the construction of a separate religious system of education. Whilst MAGA Republicans complain that the left was indoctrinating children with a non-religious, fully rounded, fact-based historical education, it is conservatives that seek to indoctrinate with religious extremism, selective history, and Christianity at the heart of their educational syllabus. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.